Second, and the applicant would like to add some additional information.
Commissioner Lyons, I've sat on design review committee for almost 15 years in Nampa, Idaho. And in instances of this nature where you're wanting to make sure that there's a level of scrutiny that this commission feels comfortable with, in the past, in my instance, which is not your instance, but as a consideration to this commission, well, what we've done is had a commission member facilitate review of those elements with staff so that you have feedback from this commission as staff reviews that. So that would be a consideration that I just wanted to present as a way to ensure some of the concerns that you want to make sure are alleviated with this feedback.
Okay. All right, Mayor, since we have the hearing open, any new comments that staff would like to give?
I don't have a process for that in your bylaws or a history of that, to my knowledge, with our planning and zoning commission. So we've never tried that before. I don't feel that this is a project and level of decisions that the administrator should own, because it is wrought with history. So not that my preference matters, but it's my preference that you guys own your decision. And I just draft the documents associated with it, because I'm just a planner who works here for you, but I don't like to own neighborhoods that are not happy. That's a me thing, maybe not a you thing. The next point that I'll make is Bill did have good questions earlier about how you might like me to draft the language regarding compliance with the zoning ordinance, given the change in site plan. So there'd probably have to be some very wildly creative conditions of approval or something that aren't my problem, because we don't have an administrative procedure for a master plan change. And I don't know what that process is made of. So those are some of the things that I noticed. I understand the urgency, but urgency also leads to arbitrary things. And so I get that you want this off your plate, but I don't want you to get it off your plate to a degree that you're being arbitrary to anyone's concerns, either the concerns of the code, the concerns of the applicant, or the concerns of the neighborhood. Half-baked decisions that are dependent on a lot of conditions do not get us defensible legal decisions, regardless of who's appealing. So I think those are my thoughts.
Mr. Chairman, if I could add.
Yes.
I think we need to be really careful about, on Meredith's point, how much of this we put on staff in terms of conditions. This project needs to be something that the commission believes, as proposed, meets the criteria. And so shifting, things like landscaping and colors of walls, and there's been a myriad of other suggestions onto staff, really puts our staff in a difficult position, as Meredith said. And so my suggestion would be, as a board, this is kind of what you signed up for. We need to wrestle with these things.
All right, thanks, Bill.
Mr.
Oh.
Chairman, Commissioners, I just want to clarify for the commission too, as it relates to the fencing and the color scheme, which I've heard are the two remaining issues. The applicant is amenable to whatever the commission would like to see there. So I don't think it's a situation where what we're hearing from the commission, we have to think about and decide, is that doable? It's doable. If you give us the guidance tonight on what you want to see, we will make it happen.
And Commissioners, before we close the public hearing again, any other questions for staff or the applicant? Any questions on the fence? Anything ideas on the fence or not?
Do they have any ideas off the top of their head of a fencing proposal that would work?
Chairman Lyons, Commissioner Rock. From the feedback that we've gotten this evening, a combination of some opaque fence and some transparent fence is clear. The balance of that should help preserve those corridors, especially to the south and on the drive lanes, so that we're maintaining that visibility. Where we have the building, having that portion be more opaque is something that seems reasonable. As far as how we achieve that, the commission didn't seem particularly favorable to obviously chain link. So we would be looking at either something in kind of a rusted or a patinaed wrought iron that's in more of a brown tone, so it blends in more naturally than your classic black wrought iron. Wrought iron comes in many powder coated colors. You can get a copper penny or various different coatings that have a distressed finish to those. So that would both give it more of an aged patina, but also take away that harshness of the black contrast and keep that in that kind of brown earth tones, which is what the commission has requested. In addition to that, either a cedar or an opaque wood look product for some select locations would be something else that we would want to be providing. And then the review of the intensification of our more robust trees, which we already have in our proposed plan, but making sure that those complement the transparent areas so that we're creating a vibrancy of both visual contrast, but also preserving that view that we're really trying to achieve.
I've looked at it many, many times, but be able to pull up the street view of the town hall, or not townhomes, the storage units there on Boydston. Right there off of Rio Vista. Just to see what that fence looks like. I think it's more the wrought iron one, but I don't pay attention anymore as I drive by. I think with that Google map or that street view they have now, we might be able to see exactly what it's like as of now.
Chairman Lyon, it's a chain link fence with privacy slats in black.
That one is,
It is. Yes, sir.
okay. Okay, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so that's not approvable today, for sure.
Yeah, I was thinking of different near the entrance there, but. Yeah. Yep. And they want to do staff with the fencing, so
I think if your decision is gonna hinge on something, it should not belong to staff. And it sounds like your decision is supposed to hinge on a fence design and maybe the siding. And I don't feel good speaking for 1 or 4 or 7 of you.
I would echo that concern. Michelle Grinvelt, Community and Economic Development Director. I think the applicant has sort of verbally proposed some maybe solutions, and I think it would be good to sort of be able to see that visually. So if they could bring that back to the commission for your consideration, and I would suggest you keep the public comment open or the public hearing open if they're going to introduce new design materials as part of this application.
okay.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, as a point of order, is the public hearing.
Yes, it is.
So completely understand the concerns of staff in making the decision. I think the comment that I just heard in relation to leaving the public hearing open, I certainly understand the concern from a perspective of receiving new information from the applicant. What I'm concerned about is every time we have a public hearing on this matter, the whole can of worms is opened back up. And so I really would like us to try and move forward to a decision if possible. So just want the commission to keep that in mind.
Oh, everything's pointing towards the continuance.
Continuance or denial. I mean, applicant almost wants the denial.
But you have to be careful on the denial, because if you can think of anything that can bring it to an approval,
Which would
you
be-
have to allow that opportunity. But I can't speak for your feelings.
My perspective is it doesn't meet the scenic route decision points, and that's enough for denial for me.
Yeah, I think with the changes that have been done with the fence modification and potentially some color variations or slight changes of the west or the east facing building, I could see myself have an emotion or an approval.
I could as well. I definitely could see myself even really close here. I'm really close to just going forward, and there were just a couple things. And it's like, oh, maybe just change it slightly, and then I'm all there, and I willing to say, because we've already given direction, what we'd like to see, but
But that's a continuance, right?
yeah, that's what it looks like.
Liz, your thoughts?
That's where my head's at as well. I mean, it sounds like, doing an approval with conditions and putting it on staff shoulders is, kind of shirking our responsibilities. I'm not in a position to deny, because I think, it's getting it to be very, very close. So I think the only answer for me is to continue and, have the applicant present a couple other options and have us be able to review and comment.
Now, with that, keeping in mind Meredith is going to be on vacation here shortly, and we're all invited to. But between this question, I guess, Bill and Meredith, would we be able to continue it to the June meeting and only address the fence color schemes of the west wall and maybe an updated landscaping with trees? And that's with the only items that would be addressed. I mean, is that something that's possible? So we don't have to go through the whole, I don't know.
Mr. Chairman, I think you run into due process issues there. I don't think you can limit it to that.
Okay, I knew it was kind of. So considering it'd be a normal one, Meredith, you don't see any way we can. I mean, all they're gonna be, they'll be asking is a couple fence options and maybe a couple design options, or that's all we're asking for.
I don't see how to do it on June 3rd, but if you guys wanted to volunteer for another special meeting later in June, you have that power. And I can look at the calendar.
And I think with one item, we're not gonna do a special meeting. So. If we
You
can't do
ready?
it,
I move to continue
I move to continue DR 2428 and SR 2411 to the July. What meeting?
First,
First, Dave.
To allow staff, to allow time for staff and the applicant to provide more information on the following privacy fence and building modifications for a scenic route. I sort of butchered that. Liz, you can do it better.
I think you captured it. I'll second that.
All right. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. And did we leave that? Did you, no, I think that, Dave, sorry, did you say keep the public hearing open, correct? You did have that in your motion?
No,
no, but we are open right now, right?
Well, it's been voted on. I move we modify that previous motion to keep the public hearing open
Second,
give it to,
and continue it to the July 1st meeting. And we got a second. Better do it again. Let's just make sure.
second.
Okay, motion and second to modify the previous motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. And with that, I don't think we have any signs. We'll take a second here. There's any,
Thank you.
any signs? No signs. And any items in our upcoming June 3rd meeting that keep in mind it's about 3 weeks away roughly.
you've got 3 records of survey on your consent agenda and the findings from the last month. You've got a new subdivision over off of Woolley, and then 3 design reviews on either shorelines or scenic route locations.
All right.
Fun.
Looks a lot better.
July looks a lot better.
Yeah.
It's not right now because of this thing having to do it in July again. I'm tired of this.
Me too. I just work here. So that's what I got. Anything else for me? For Michelle?
No. And then you'll be sending out the updated map for the impact zone, and I would imagine we'll maybe have an update, or no, there's no other meeting. Is there any other meetings for the county, city regarding that we should think about, commissioner or us as a commission to want to attend, or not officially, but as an audience?
Michelle?
Yeah, there is no joint meeting at this point scheduled. The county commissioners plan to talk about a map on their next county commissioner meeting. I don't think they set a time for next Monday. Because we initiated the proposal, they have within 90 days to hold a public hearing. So at that point, you know, there will be an opportunity for the public to come out and informally comment on the boundary.
Okay, well, that sounds good. Well, in that case, I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting at 8 o'clock.
Second that one.
Second.
A second and a third, all in favor?
Aye.
I.
All right, we are adjourned. And then Dave, before you disappear, since we're done, I'll send you, I know you just got our hockey schedule for next year.
Okay.
You don't
Thanks.
have your hat on tonight.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.